So, Power Metallic, we're a totally interesting, unique story out there. We are definitely a world-class polymetallic discovery, and we're in Quebec. We've got a fantastic location. We've got an incredibly interesting discovery. It's a subset of polymetallics called orthomagmatic. There's only been 20 of these things discovered in the world. They're the richest mines on the go. Granddaddy of them all is Norilsk in Russia, over $1 trillion of metal, and we're hoping to give them a run for the money. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a bit of work to be done here going forward. Um, just the classic Pinocchio page. I'm going to tell you things that I believe are true, but please do your own due diligence and go from there. So, we got into Quebec a number of years ago. We originally had a nice nickel discovery that we built up, and then we made a phenomenal discovery, an area that we now call Lion, and it uh, it came out with on the initial holes the third best platinum palladium holes of the year. And that got people excited. And as we started to drill a bit more, it got some heavyweights in the mining industry on board. So, as you can see from this screen, we've got people like Robert Friedland. He's led our last two financings that we've done over the last 2 years. Rob McEwen participated as well, and he's been in the marketplace recently, adding to his position. As have insiders. We're recently just under $1, and our CEO, Terry Lynch, added about 500,000 shares. Another director, Les Millard, is six figures as well. And I've increased my position by six figures of late as well. Gina Reinhardt came in, not in the financing side. She actually wanted to buy 10% of our company at one point. We gave her a price she didn't like, but it was, from our understanding, we had an awful lot of goodies imminent to announce. So she decided to go buy in the marketplace. So, like a bull in the china shop, kind of fun, but totally interesting discovery. It is an incredibly copper-rich, platinum, palladium, gold, and silver discovery. Last year, this time with the two Robs, we did a $50 million financing. That has given us all the money to complete a 100,000 meter drill program through to the end of this year. And we're actively banging away on the rocks as we speak. Um, as I said, we're in Quebec. I'll discuss that shortly. But one of the nice aspects for our company is our capital structure. Roughly half the company is held by a small handful of investors. The largest is our CEO Terry Lynch's and his family. They're around 18%. We've got some of the sharper fund managers, Palos Capital with Wacom Pilot, best dressed man in Montreal. Really a very smart guy. BT Global's on board as well. And we've been adding more to the picture there. So on the left side, you'll see there's a number of warrants that are out and options. So you are seeing these warrants mostly held by the key shareholders getting exercised here. It's adding to our capital structure. At this point, we're looking at about 32 million dollars still in the till. And these warrants and options getting exercised will generate another 9 to $12 million. So we're in great shape financially for what we're involved in right now. Um, Probably don't need to show you this, but basically, commodities look extremely attractive vis-a-vis the rest of the marketplace. Things look cheap, and obviously, we're seeing some dramatic moves in the different commodity prices, just suggesting that this is a prime time to get yourself on board companies like ours. So, as I mentioned, we're in Quebec. We're just outside the town of Nemaska. It's southeast of James Bay. There's a number of aspects here that are key and from our perspective, quite wonderful. So, on a physical level, we are right beside a major highway. It's right beside our property. Across the street is a Quebec Hydro substation, and their power lines go over our property, and there's an awful lot of juice going through those things. So I like to joke that if you got underneath there, you could light a cigarette without a match. They're so strong. We've got a regional airport a couple miles away. The town of Nemaska is also the headquarters of the James Bay Cree. We have a fantastic relationship with these guys. They're probably the most sophisticated indigenous group in Canada. They've done extremely well, especially with all the work they did with Quebec Hydro back in the 70s, and very supportive for us. They've been big contributors to our development, especially in the last year with some property acquisitions that we made that we probably could not have done without them. The fiscal structures are really attractive as well. So we've typically done financings by doing charitable flow through deals. There we go. For instance, our last financing, we did 40 million of that on a charitable flow deal at $2.83, the buyback, and where other people participated on the hard dollars, including the Robs, was a dollar 45. So we get twice as much money with half the dilution. It's pretty attractive for the perspective of investors having that kind of structure in place. That's a positive. We'll no doubt continue to do that as an element of future financings. The Quebec and the federal governments will give you tax credits for 55% of the cost of building a facility here. And so we're actively involved in that. CVMR is in the process of completing a feasibility study on Nisk, Maine, which is our original nickel discovery. So if we build a facility there, back of the envelope, suggestion is that it would cost 400 to 500 million dollars, and you're looking at half the cost because of the tax credit structure that exists today. So very, very positive. We have great response too in other areas like permitting from the Quebec government. So all in all, just a great locale for us to be. We think it's the best place to be in the world at this point. So, real quick recap of sort of history here. On the bottom left is our original discovery, Nisk. Guys had kicked the tires on this thing going back to the 70s and really hadn't done much with it. We cranked this thing up. We originally got it. It had about 1 million tons of high-grade nickel. We did a 43-101 in 23, showing 7.2 million tons of about one and a quarter. We'll go back on that and do some more data, but we think the number's significantly higher, both in grade and in tonnage. So that's kind of fun. It's a deposit that starts off right at surface. We've mostly explored it down to about 500 to 550 meters. And lo and behold, at one point, we're down to 200 meters left in our drilling budget. The holes at Nisk, Maine were typically 4 to 5. So Terry asked our geos, what can we do with 200 meters? We did a step out 5.5 kilometers away. That was the platinum palladium discovery that became Lion. And Lion has just knocked the socks off everybody when we put out our assays on this thing. At this point, it's a 45% copper, 55% PGE discovery. It's incredibly rich. The widths are substantial. The grades are astronomical, and we're super excited. This thing continues to be open at depth and on the sides. We'll be putting out more assays in short order that continue to fulfill that statement. And very strong. At this point, we're typically down about 700 to 800 meters, using some different tools on this area. We know that this structure goes down at least 1,200 meters at this point. So as we get down deeper, we'll see, if it continues even further than that. And here's a big picture sort of thing. Like these orthomagmatics are very rich entities. Typically, it's a fairly large or massive nickel copper body that is a kitchen. It creates these hydrothermic events. Nisk is one of those, and they tend to shoot up all these metals, they get very concentrated, and in our case, we've got 11 different ones on the go. These are very typically multi events, and so we have found more. We've got another one that we're starting to put data out on called Tiger and Tiger Deep. And we've got another one that we referenced in recent weeks called Elephant, and there's more to come. It's just so much fun. As an example of how rich this stuff is, we highlight here five different holes that we pulled out of Lion Zone. Over 20 meters of length for these, and average grades were 8% plus copper EQ. So incredibly rich rock, and obviously that's been a focus because that gets people's attention and that creates value. So, as most people know, we've seen some pretty dramatic moves in commodity prices. I mean, these are outdated within a week or so of getting put together, but copper's up 43%, palladium, platinum are 100% plus. Gold is obviously up substantially; it gets a lot of attention, and silver. So even nickel's starting to come alive again. It used to be a four-letter word, but it's definitely coming alive. Uh, One of the things that we just produced was our metallurgical results. So it's really key. You're in the mining business. What you want to do is find high quality rock. You want to find it in a good environment and have the ability with money in the bank to be able to show progress on this stuff. And you de-risk in other ways too. So the metallurgy is a key aspect. We put these numbers out this year. They are outstanding. I mean, your copper recovery rates are 99% roughly. Platinum and palladium are in the mid to high 90s. Gold's 85, and silver in that sort of same category. Now, what's interesting too on this is the guys who did the work for us, SGS, who are the top of the food chain. They thought that they had the ability to actually even increase these recovery rates. So incredibly strong value creation here for us. I mean, we were typically using 80% as a recovery rate for our metals. This boosts things up, so it makes our resource 15 to 20% larger than we thought it was in the past. So incredibly strong results. Uh, why do you want to get involved in buying a company like Power Metallic? Well, typically it's because you want to make some money on your investments. And we think that we're absolutely dirt cheap with what we've got, especially if you compare it to somewhat similar companies that are out there. So at this point, the 7.1 million tons is attributable to Nismain. Lion is, closing in on 10 million plus tons. Different analysts put out numbers, so we'll use those. We haven't done a PEA yet, but we will this year. The numbers are typically around 10 million tons of 5 to 7% copper equivalent. So incredibly valuable rock. We're building it up at a very fast rate. And, we think that this is a fantastic upside here for investors. We have a spectacular mind in one of our directors, Dr. Steve Beresford. He's an Australian, fantastic CV. He's had three, multi-billion dollar discoveries that he was the operating geo for, and he put this chart together. It's just trying to show how these orthomagmatic structures look like, and sort of compare them to some of the other ones that are there. So Sakatti, Morenski's Reef, Voisey's Bay, for instance. These are all variations of either PGEs, copper, or nickel in structure. And we're actually in a super rich spot here. So we've profiled Lion here. Oktyabrsky is Norilsk. Sakatti's over in Finland. Our rock is actually more valuable than Oktyabrsky's, which is kind of nice. They just have a lot more of it than we do at this point. Uh, Another sort of variation looking at this stuff, but we're more copper rich on the polymetallic side, and that's where we sit in this structure. So incredibly valuable rock, incredibly rare discoveries, and we've got one. Um, One of the things that Robert Friedland said to Terry when he first started looking at putting money into this company was, we just had such unusual assays coming out. He called it a duck-billed platypus, and honestly, it's this is such a rare thing. It's totally different. It is a very complex structure that we have. It's multi-billion years of development, Mother Nature whipping stuff around and going from there. It's not a simple project. What is quite nice is that we're getting recognized, especially by industry, for how sophisticated and knowledgeable our geological team is, and how they're having success in working on expanding our discoveries and working on new ones. So very very strong work on their behalf. Our success rate on exploration holes is actually just north of 50%, which is pretty unusual in the mining industry. So kudos to these guys for having their act together and really understanding this complex environment that we're in. One of the things that we basically figured out once we had done our financing last year is this is not just going to be a mine or two mines with what we have. This is a district play, and it's substantial. So we started to focus last year around this time and expanding our footprint, and we did so very aggressively and successfully, and again with the help of the James Bay Cree as well. We did a initial transaction with a lithium company called Lift that expanded our property, as you can see with the blue here, by 300%. Very key areas that were included with that. We then, and this is where the James Bay Creek came in. The Quebec Hydro had all sorts of grounds all over the province that they'd set aside, back in the 60s and 70s for potential future hydro work. And they're sort of loath to give those things up. But it was on the stuff that was right near our property was absolutely key on structure and such. And so we managed to add the hydro lands to our ownership. We own 100% of that for the most part, and we did some staking as well. So end result is that we're a 600% bigger footprint in this area, and we think that at this point we've got seven of the eight major targets in our name. So pretty key. We're still looking to add more property because we think this is a very significant system, and we'll see how we progress with that. Uh, we're running six rigs at this point. We'll add a seventh to do some research work in fairly short order. So key areas are obviously expanding the Lion deposit. It's open in all directions, and we're having some success just on the other side of a fault by Lion that we call Lion West. We're slowly starting to put out assays on that. We've got Tiger just to the east and Tiger Deep, which is looking exceptionally interesting. Some casual sort of thoughts is, Lion Deep might be, or sorry, Tiger Deep might be bigger than Lion. We will see. We also published an anomaly graph that's tremendously huge, 750 by 750 meters. It's called Elephant, and we think this thing could be absolute monster. So early days on exploration work on that. One of the key aspects for doing our exploration work has been using borehole EM. The ground here is really conducive to getting substantial pictures. We're typically able to put these tools down after doing exploration holes and get about 150 meter radius view. The rock is very clean, so It's a pretty wonderful tool for us. And we do everything else too. And we've done airborne, ground EM, geochem work, etc. So the guys have an awful lot of tools and data to work with. Sometimes it's probably a little overwhelming for them, but we're having fun with it. We're expanding our group as well, so we have more brains attacking this and going from there. We also think that we might have found one and possibly two fold hinges on the property, and we'll be drilling into those in the next little while. So quite possible that that's part of the the major kitchen that's created events like Lion and Tiger. So that's going to be exciting. We'll have so many interesting things to knock on here in the next little while. Uh, so obviously Terry is our CEO, pretty gifted guy. He's just solid driving force for this company. I'm going to highlight three people here. Joe Campbell runs a company called GeoVector. GeoVector does all our on-site geology work. They're one of the top entities out there in the geo world in Canada. He actually used to be with Western Mining, as did Dr. Steve Beresford. So Steve came up, a bit of a story, but he came up to our property, got super excited. Originally did some consulting work for us, and then became a director. He's our driving force in terms of how we approach this stuff. The last guy is Seamus O'Regan. So at some point you morph from mining into politics, and you need help, dealing with the government. He's a former federal minister for natural resources and indigenous affairs. We're going to run out of time here in a sec. But just very quickly, sum up. So we've got 6 rigs on the go. The assay labs are a little bit slow, but we're getting stuff out. The environment is incredibly positive with commodity price increases and our assays that we're putting out. Our metallurgy report was great. We've got a feasibility study coming out shortly. We're going to look to list on the New York Stock Exchange in short order on a positive environment time frame. Our Chilean metals spinoff is now public. Not really trading at the moment, but it should get going. And we've done a whole bunch of work down in Saudi through a direct subsidiary company. So pretty neat stuff. Look forward to an awful lot of exciting drilling data coming out in the next little while, and we think investors are going to be pretty happy and enjoy being long.
Well, I mean, Duncan, there is so much happening over there, and it's all very exciting things. There are so many things that you guys have diversified as well. And so, some of the questions that have come up, one of them being, what is happening with the Chilean shares? They appear to be listed, but we don't seem to be able to trade them.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. I think it's uh, a problem with the transfer agent and the different brokerage firms. So obviously, I own stock there. I can't buy or sell it at this point. We hope to get that resolved shortly. As an aside, we've brought in Adam Smith from Red Cloud to be our liquidity specialist and get working on that. He's anxious to get going on this one. But we should have this resolved here in short order.
Perfect. Okay, the next one up. When do you think we will get any information from the four key target drill holes that are on your main target zones?
Uh, I would say fairly soon. I think in the next week we should see non-lion targets getting announced in a news release. So that'll be Tiger, Tiger Deep, uh, Elephant, etc. And we'll follow that up once more in short order with more stuff from Lion.
Well, what about the pictures from the AAA targets? When can we expect those?
That's a Terry call. So we've done that in the past. We sort of view that if we nail one of these holes, the most of the time the metallurgy is pretty obvious. And just from a CYA aspect, it makes sense to go and publish pictures of these things. So
Fair enough.
uh, let's look for those in the next little while if we can.
Fair enough. Duncan, what does the market still misunderstand about your flagship asset that you believe will materially rewrite that story?
Yeah, I think people just don't understand how big this is. You have
Mm,
some naysayers saying, "Oh, this is just a small thing and it's not a big deal." And reality is entirely different. I mean, this thing is massive. The rock is totally valuable. We've got lots of it. We've got a really clear sight line to making our resource size multiples of what it is. And
right.
and people are just not giving us credit for that. But at some point, their tide's going to turn, and
Mm,
off we go. Part of that too, I think, your participants for the most part in the marketplace have been industry specific, investment groups and funds, and you're starting to see a migration to the more generalist fund managers. And
mm,
they're super hungry for stuff like this. As you said in your introduction, we are a perfect storm. We're what the guys at the U.S. Department of Defense and the
yeah.
Raytheons of the world, want to find and get their hands on.
Mhm.
And as these guys come to appreciate that, I think we're going to see substantial amounts of new money coming into our company who appreciate our value and our upside.
And that's one of the things you have to look at is like, look at who is backing you. You have Robert Friedland. Robert Friedland doesn't get involved in just minute little things. He is so strategic in what he does that alone, just that one person, along with everything else, everybody else, but just that one person alone tells a story right there that I think investors are missing and they should probably delve into a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
My next question,
Robert's smart, man. He's he's
he's
he's on the ball. He's
smart
helpful.
cookie.
He's on the blower all the time. It's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
He's a
So the
solid
next
guy.
question for you, Duncan, is how are you balancing promotional visibility with disciplined geological advancements?
Well, there's more than one of us at work here, so
Yeah.
that's 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 helpful. Um, Terry and I spent an awful lot of time doing evangelical work for this company, and then we've got a fantastic geo team. So I mean, we only spend money on two areas. There's no offices, there's no company cars, there's none of this stuff. We're let's get this story drilled and let's talk about it with people. That's our focus. So we try to do a
Totally.
good balance. It's the faster the labs can produce assays, the better off for us, and off we go.
So then at what point do you think that the company transitions from speculative upside to strategic assets in the eyes of larger producers?
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, I think the metallurgy report certainly garnered an awful lot of attention. I know that from, being approached by majors in the last couple of weeks
Mhm.
who are taking a fresh look at what we have. I think uh, uh, I think we're going to advance the creation of a PEA on this,
Great.
and uh, and I think that might be instrumental in letting people know, hey, here's a good housekeeping seal of approval data on just how big the assets that we already have are, and go from there.
Well, some great things happening for you all at Power Metallics. So can you let us know what's your website and for those who want more information?
Sure. So real simple. We are powermetallic.com.
Perfect.
We publish a ton of stuff on our website, so you can get a hold of the latest decks. If you're Geo, you can make your own models for our property. My telephone number is here, 416-580-3862, or Duncan at Power Metallic. Happy to talk to people and go from there.
Well, Duncan, thank you so much for your time. And for all of those investors who want to learn more, definitely flip over, read about their story, and do your due diligence. You'll see what we're talking about. Thank
All
you
right,
again,
right on,
Duncan.
Lizzie. Thanks so much.
Have a
Always
good,
good to talk to you.
absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.